Hi, welcome back to Feel Good Living. This is the third episode and I am your host, Prue. Last episode, if you didn't see it, just a quick summary because that is an extension of what we're going to talk about today. I like to show graphics and talk about metaphors so that we can understand each other in a very easy way and then also remember it easily and well. So this duality that we talked about last time, who am I? It's a big question, but I summed it up in three things. The duality of, if you think of the iceberg, the physical part of the iceberg and then the non-physical part of the iceberg. That is that we are a physical being in a physical universe, but we also have a non-physical presence within. So that's where I described it as the physical being the personality that we have as our conscious being in how we think and who we are, but also the non-physical being the soul in a body. And also this idea of as a hypnotherapist, which I am in my daily work, that as a holistic approach to life, I help people understand that they are a conscious mind, and also in this part of the iceberg, the reality of being a subconscious and unconscious mind. Why am I here? I like to talk about the big questions because life is important. And I've always been driven with this question of how to live well and how to live a purposeful life. This episode about why am I here is actually going to be talking a lot about personal power. This channel is my truth, what I have come to know as truth that I'm sharing, and if it resonates, fantastic, and if it does, then share it. About informing to transform. Informing by giving a new perspective, by giving new information that then can transform our way of being in this world and what sort of impact we have in our personal power in this world. Thought is such a powerful thing. Let's just start with the power of thought. There is a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is my copy that I've had for many years. Just very briefly, I'm going to share with you part of this poem. That was also something that I had in front of me when I was a child, and it used to be there where we used to study. But the start of it is, if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. If you think that you're outclassed, you are. You have got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man. But sooner or later, the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. So our power is in our belief, in what we think that then gets muscles. And for every time we think it, it becomes a belief. And that belief is so strong that it creates our reality. So I like to be in the power of thought and challenge people's thinking, because our thinking is the seeds to our life. What we plant with every thought is the crop that comes up as the harvest that is our life. That's how important our thinking is. But then there's much more to the story than that. Rhonda Byrne shared the secret with us, and I'm going to talk more about that in the next episode about how rich we really are. But the real secret that I want to share on this channel is there's so much more to that story, because we are a thinking power and much more. And that's what we're going to unpack today. So why are we here? This is my truth. I think of it as a triad of intentions. Abraham Hicks has shared this with me, and it makes so much sense. So now I'm going to share it with you and then add on my part of the story in it all, and how I use this knowledge to empower myself and others with their personal power to take charge of their life and make their dreams a reality. So triad of intentions, 3 intentions to live a purpose-driven life. The first one is growth. That we're here to grow, we're here to expand, we're here to go from who we're being into more and more of our highest best self, to become in the physical reality the experience of our highest best self. So everything is expanding. everything every day is more than it was before. But it's not necessarily realized that more, because that's where the next triad of intention comes into it. There's something called freedom. Free will. Freedom to choose, freedom to not. Freedom to go, freedom to not. Freedom to accept it or deny it. And that's where I come in my coaching and my teaching and in helping people close that gap from being to becoming in therapy, but also in success optimization. The being on the way to then becoming more. And then that's when the third one comes in, because that's the choice. It's the joy factor. We're actually here to enjoy being us and being alive and being in this physical body. To enjoy it. That's it. And that was the key that I found out years ago, that it's about happiness. How to live a happy life. And that entwined a lot with this purpose-driven life, this purposeful living. The best way, again, with a graphic, with a metaphor. This is up on my wall behind me, but I'm going to bring it closer now for you to be able to see. This is how I tell that story with my clients when I'm in therapy with them or in success optimization coaching sessions. But it actually speaks to the power of those three intentions. That this is where I am now, but there's something calling me forward, something calling me to an evolution of myself, something that's grander, bigger, better than where I'm at, calling me forward. So this is where I'm being, and this is who I'm becoming. But the freedom of choice is, am I going or am I not? And the joy, which is the choice factor, is expansion's happening, whether we go or not. We are evolving, whether we embrace it or not, whether we allow it to happen or not, whether we are a part of making it happen or not. But I've come to understand that joy, happiness, is an internal job. That internal job is all about closing the gap from who am I being on my way to who am I becoming. And am I being true to myself in that evolution and in that gap? And am I being true to myself in closing that gap? That I am moving toward my highest, best self, which is what I use as this symbol. The line represents, is the highest, best version of myself. So where am I now? Where do I know I want to go? And am I closing the gap and doing the work? And the real joy we're all seeking is in that evolutionary closing of the gap. Happy now, on my way to more, because I'm answering the call, I'm being true to myself, and I'm closing the gap to my highest, best self. That's what we're here for. That's the personal power, because it's actually an inside job. That power we can choose to take and own and take charge over and be empowered and close our own evolutionary gap and know it and feel it and be excited and enjoy it and all that enthusiasm and energy and everything we want to feel and feel alive, or we don't. So I help people recognize that it's actually not that complicated. Either I'm on my way and doing what I'm here to do, which is realize my highest, best self, and that feels so good, or we're not. And when we're not, we don't feel that good. And that's what I help people to conquer and overcome, so that they can begin moving in the direction of their highest, best being, so they can be happy and successful and thrive and feel alive and feel energetic and everything we're actually seeking to feel. Because that's what it's all about. My evolutionary gap, whatever that evolutionary gap is. And living the cat life, being held back, being limited, living small, in sabotage, in unlimited beliefs, in untruths in our thinking that make us believe in the cat instead of believing in the lion. That's what I call resistance. And resistance is what we need to let go of, so that we can be in free flow and be the lion we really are and embrace our truth and move forward. So that's the triad of intentions. Why am I here? To realize my own expansion, and with the freedom I have to choose, that I choose it and I'm doing what I'm here to do. That's being true to yourself. Now, I'm a scientist, so I like evidence. I like evidence-based things. And that's why I talk a lot with my clients about evidence-based reality. But I don't mean evidence like the way I was trained to as a scientist necessarily. Because as Einstein said, and I have come to agree, is the only source of knowledge is experience, life experience. Life is our best teacher. So it's either our own experience in life that can be our greatest teacher, or it can be the experience and evidence of others that we can use to live our life wiser or better. So I want to share with you now Bronnie Ware. Bronnie Ware I have talked about in one of my earlier videos, but now I'm going to share the top 5 regrets that she has given the world in a book, that she experienced when she was with dying people in palliative care, and the regrets that went again and again and again and again that she chose then to share with the world. That's what this channel is about. That's what my work is about, is how to make a difference with our life while we still can. So the top 5 regrets that she has shared in a book is, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That was regret number 1. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And there I'm thinking, if you'd worked hard, living the soul-driven, purpose-driven life, that wouldn't be a regret. So I'm thinking there, it's a working so hard on the wrong things. Spending my life, investing myself and all that I am, the wrong place, with the wrong people, doing the wrong thing. And that acknowledgement that she's sharing here is that the internal knows, and we can't escape it, when we're up against the wall, and the truth then is so loud that that whisper that it once was can be heard loud and clear, and then it's too late. So the 3rd wish, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings, how I feel. That's what makes us human beings, not robots, not production lines. The 4th wish, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. 5th wish, I wish I had let myself be happier. And in my understanding of so many sessions with so many clients, and also after all of this personal evolution and curiosity and searching for the answers about how to live life well and be happy, I understand that these regrets happen because we don't understand. We don't know better. And if we knew better, we'd do better. So that's where, in my summary of what happiness is, it could be the physical happiness we're talking about, the conditional happiness we could be talking about. It could be the car I drive, the house I live in, the job I have, the status I have, the achievements I have. It could be the family I have. It could be the look that I have. It could be so many things in the physical. And they are value in our life. They matter. But this that I'm talking about here on this channel is the invisible, the unconditional. It's this hidden part here of what it really is that we're all seeking. And it is this undeniable gap between who am I being and who am I becoming? And am I being true to myself? Am I courageous enough to own it, to listen to the whisper before it hits me over the head and is so loud I can't ignore it? And am I staying connected to myself and those that I love, living a soul-driven, heart-filled life, expressing who I am and sharing it with the world? That's what I call true happiness. That's what I call living intentionally and living a purpose-driven life. So that's one evidence from life experience. If this resonates with you, then it's also your truth. If you resonate with what these people have said, That's another proof of concept that we're really onto something. And then for another piece of evidence, we can use another person's life. You know, I have observed different successful people in life and wondered, what is the answer? And Oprah inspired me when I was a younger girl, both with her story and her show and what she shared and how she moved me. But I remember her talking about how she sat in a chair as an interviewer and realized in that moment, going from a reporter to an interviewer, that this is where she understood. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what my life is about. This is what I was here for. That's how I have longed to feel in my work life. I so longed to be able to say one day that realization, that moment, I want to experience. So I have had a longing and a call of my lion calling me forward, both with my personal relationship in looking for the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, married to, and have a family with. And that longing was there until I met him, and now it's not. And then I had this longing to live a purpose-driven life in my work, in my calling, and being true to that. And now that I've arrived in this work, that longing's gone now too. Experience of Oprah. The secret that I have come to understand that she is fully aware of is the power of a belief and understanding what is the driving force in our life. And as a young girl, she heard it be said that she is the daughter of God. And she believed it. And in understanding that in God all things are possible, then Oprah took ownership over the greatest gift we can all give ourselves. And that is, what do I think? What do I believe? And is that belief true to my inner knowing, my soul, and therefore is taking me on the right path, to the right destination, in who I'm being on my way to becoming more of myself? So know thyself and be thyself true. That's what it's about. So Oprah, I feel, in her physical manifestation of her magnificent life, and as she says, a life full of rich blessings, is an example of a person a lot of us around the world know. And I believe that she is a physical reminder, an example to us all of the proof of concept of what you believe matters. And the power of a belief can lead to such a magnificent life. But that's where this truth of who am I is bigger than just me in my physical life. It's me plus me and we together in that personal power that I am, that is me. A personality and a soul in a physical being having a spiritual and physical experience. You know, I can sometimes say to our clients, could you imagine not having a body? We wouldn't have our 5 senses in which to experience the richness of life. Because if we were just a soul without our body, how can we really experience the taste of chocolate, for example? There is so much richness in our 5 senses, being a portal to the external world that gives us the opportunity to experience how good it feels to swim, or how good it feels to taste chocolate, how good it feels to love someone, how grand it is to be able to observe the world and hear it and speak our truth. We are magnificent and we are powerful. But in order to live the powerful life that is a possibility, a potential. It's a potential. That's what this lion represents. It is our highest, best potential self. In order for that to become a physical expression and reality in our life, we need to acknowledge our duality, acknowledge the true power we are. So acknowledge it by recognizing it, by being conscious about it. and then believing it and accepting it. And in our belief, it's a powerful force. It's not just a thought. It's a thought that's been thought lots of times, thought again and again and again and again. So it has got muscles. It's become so deep, so powerful, that it's a life force that then means we express that truth. So that's how powerful you can be if you choose to own it and take charge. And yet another evidence of something that's moved me, and Oprah has talked about this too, is a poem, The Invictus. And I want to just come to the last two lines of that, which is, I am the master of my fate, and I am the captain of my soul. If that resonates with you, as it does with me, that helps us to understand the truth of the power of the potential we have in our hands. So why are we here? We're here to create ourselves into a physical experience for the joy of experiencing it through our physical body of 5 senses, and take ownership over that, who am I? So that when we look at this in another way, I am the master of my fate. That when I understand that's who I am, what I am, why I'm here, and I'm conscious about that, and I accept that, and I believe that, then I can start to take charge of my soul as the captain on a ship, choosing the destination, choosing the ride and the journey, and most important of all, enjoying the journey. That's what we're here for. But that's a choice. We're going to be here no matter what. We're going to expand no matter what. But we can choose with our free will to know the power and truth of who we are. There is a man called Robert Russell that has written a book, You Too Can Be Prosperous. Because what does this also mean in terms of real life? What can this understanding do, Prue? How is it you help clients? How is it this teaching can help me? Well, I believe in living a life full out, fully engaged, feeling it, living it, feeling alive, experiencing it. That's what I call prosperity. But Robert Russell talked also about prosperity. Prosperity in terms of monetary sense, in terms of money being a symbol, a physical expression of prosperity. But he also talks a lot about the jewels of prosperity that are invisible. And that's what I'm all about too in the work that I do, both on this channel, what I want to share, and also with my clients. And I call it vibrational currency. That is the true currency we're really all going after. And that vibrational currency is a feeling and a frequency and a way of living that gives us true prosperity in another form than just money. It is happiness, which we've just talked about. Happiness is closing the gap, being myself true, moving forward, evolving, owning it, and experiencing it. But it's also love, feeling our own love to ourselves and our love to others in connection with others in relationships. It's the freedom, so free to choose. It's peace of mind. That's what so many clients leave their time with me with, a peace of mind, an understanding of their past, a contentment with their now, and a burning desire for more in their future. He talked about health. He's talked about the prosperity of independence. Independence. And the value that prosperous way of living is to ourselves and to others. In extension to the 5 regrets Bronnie Ware talked about, there's this line: something tugs on your heartstrings and urges you to find the courage. Open your heart, connect, be happy, and enjoy this one precious life. So that's another way of summing up what prosperity is and living a prosperous life, living a life well lived. And then there's Napoleon Hill, again from this Think and Grow Rich book, he talks about riches. Think and grow rich. But rich, yes, in monetary form. But his book is riches in so many other ways. He describes riches like this. 1, sound health. 2, peace of mind. 3, the richness of enjoying a work of love of own choice. 4, a freedom from fear and worry. 5, living with a positive mental attitude and the richness of that. 6, material riches of your own choice. The monetary wealth he puts last. What is the price you have to pay to be able to live these riches? He sums it up like this. The price you need to pay is taking possession of your own mind and guiding it toward the things of your choice. I am the master of my fate. I choose, I decide, I guide, I direct this ship to its harbor, the destination. Okay, well, thank you for listening to this episode, my 3rd episode. The next episode is going to be about how rich we are. Do we know how rich we are? Because this channel is about feel-good living, and feel-good living's real currency is energy, vibration, and frequency. So the currency we're all looking for is actually vibrational currency, which is actually energy. It's a vibe. And we can't feel alive enough and energetic enough. Our personal power in owning it and using it in our lives is about how to live a soul-driven life that's heartfelt, so that we know how to direct our mind to our choice of the riches we're seeking. So one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is being happy. That's what we're here for. But that's also a gift we can give those around us, because happy people we want to be around. So it's about raising ourselves up, raising that level up, raising our own level to the highest, best version of ourselves, giving that to ourselves so we can experience the joy of that experience. But also, through that value we've given ourselves, we are also valuing other people in being the highest, best version of ourselves. So thank you for today. Remember, feel good living.